Hello there. I'm Amy Rousdell from Billable with Baby. I'm so glad you're here because today we're going to talk about pricing. Now, pricing is always a little scary, and that's okay. Sometimes you just have to embrace the fear and keep on going. I do promise you that after you watch this video today, you're going to feel a lot more confident about charging what you're worth. We're going to cover 5 things today. The first one is preparation. So, how do you prepare for pricing? The first thing you want to do is to do a little bit of homework. Try and find out what consultants in your area and your industry sector are charging. If you can find some competition and find out what they're charging, then that's fantastic. Do a little benchmarking to be prepared. Number 2 is setting your rate. So, for reasons that I don't fully understand, there's still a little bit of a mystery to me. 80% of the independent consultants out there charge $150 an hour. Now, to give just a little bit of context, I'm talking about people who have backgrounds similar to me. That's several years of corporate experience and now going off and starting your own consulting business. So if you look markedly different, if you're a PhD toxicologist, you might be worth $250 or $300 an hour. If you're a virtual assistant, your rate might be something more along the lines of $40 or $50 an hour. It's more about the process than the rate. I want to make sure that you do a little bit of preparation and homework. And the biggest thing I want to make sure is that you charge what you're worth. The third thing to think about is selling your time. So as a consultant, you're selling your hours. Now you might be thinking, but Amy, I'm not charging by the hour. I'm charging by the day or the month or the project, and that's okay. But like it or not, you're selling your hours. And the really important thing to remember there is once an hour is gone, you can never sell it again. You can't stockpile them. You can't put them in a warehouse. So you need to make sure that you charge what you're worth, whether it's by the hour or the day or the project or the month. I want to make sure that you're not pricing too low and you understand that once an hour is gone, you can never sell it again. The fourth thing I want to make sure is that you do some role playing. Pricing discussions are a little bit uncomfortable, and when you start into a consulting discussion about doing a project with a prospect, the question of what's your rate is going to come up very early in the discussion, so you need to be prepared. You need to practice it out loud. So once you've set your rate, practice it with your spouse, your dog, your kids. If nothing else, look in the rearview mirror of your car before you go into the meeting and practice it out loud. You must say it out loud. There's something magic about speaking it out loud. When I'm getting ready to do these videos, I kind of have it in my head what I want to say. Once I start saying it out loud, I always stumble through it for a little while before I actually get a good take, right? You need to say it out loud. It's a little bit like an acting role, and actors always rehearse things out loud. The fifth thing that we're going to talk about is a little bit of a catch-all bucket. So, number 1 and number 5, I know that's a little confusing, but here's just a few do's and don'ts. Never work for free. Just make yourself a rule now that you're not going to work for free. It doesn't pay the rent, the mortgage, the childcare, the college tuition, whatever your family expenses or your personal expenses are. Working for free will not pay those. So just make a rule, don't do it. For the most part, I find that when people do work for free, they've somehow convinced themselves that they're doing it for the experience or the practice, but really when we boil it down, and I've done it myself very early in my practice, it's because we're afraid to really put ourselves out there and charge what we're worth. So I don't want you to work for free. I also don't want you to give volume discounts. Remember what I said. Once an hour goes by, you can never sell it again. So if you you sell all your hours to this person over here at a discounted rate, I guarantee you that the next week a great client is going to come along and want to pay your full rate, and you're not going to have any hours to sell them. I do have occasionally a client that comes in and they say, you know what, Amy, We have a big emergency. Is there any way that we could get 50 hours a week for 3 weeks to get ourselves out of this big crisis? So I will, if I can manage the capacity and if my husband can pick up some extra load with the kids, I might do that for a few weeks. But if you want FedEx overnight, do you pay less? No, you pay more. So if they want 50 hours for 3 weeks, they're going to pay a premium, not a discount. And that's the way I want you to think, right? If they want to buy out all your capacity, they don't get a discount, they pay a premium because your services are in demand. And I promise you, very soon, they really will be. That's assuming you're new and just early in getting started here. Another thing that I want you to remember, I want you to own it. This is your business. This is your project. You can price however you choose. I just don't want to make sure that you charge too little because you're afraid people may not pay what you're worth, right? So a lot of this video you'll see is a pep talk on charging what you're worth because you really are worth it. So I want you to remember, your only finite resource is your time. It's precious. You can't stockpile it. And no matter how hard you try, you can't make any more of it. All right, so what do I want you to do now? Do a little homework. Do your research and benchmarking. Do a little bit of digging into what customary rates are in your area and industry sector. And if you could find out what the competition is charging, that's fantastic. Set your rate, choose it, own it, be deliberate, role play your discussion, role play it out loud. So important to do it out loud. And charge what you're worth. That's really what this is all about. A lot of ideas to help you figure out what your rate should be, and then a lot of inspiration to make sure that you really do charge what you're worth. So if after listening to this, you're feeling like you could use a little extra help and TLC, I would love to jump on a call with you. We jump on the phone or video chat for 15 minutes. It's free. You can schedule it at the link below. And I really would love to chat with you and learn more about what you're trying to accomplish with your life and with your work and what your goals and aspirations are, because I really believe that you can live the life you deserve, like I've been able to do for the last 15 years. It's been fantastic, and I really want to help you do it too. So grab a time below. We have limited spots, so grab it now. It's free, and I can't wait to see you there. Okay, bye.